Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, FPL Consult here, and today we're going to do the Game Week 20 team selection video. So in this video, I'll go through how I did for Game Week 19, talk a little bit about the transfers I've made. I've taken a -8 this week, right, to prepare for the double game week and also the game weeks beyond that as well. I think this hit would serve my team well, so we'll get into that later on, and then talk a little bit about triple captaincy as well, because I'm sure that is on quite a number of our minds right now. Right, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. So very quickly for Game Week 19, not the best week for me, right? I got 49 points, which was the average, and so that's pretty much a game week rank of about 5 mil, so not ideal, right? And I've dropped from 460k in the world down to 587k in the world, so not ideal, right? And for this game week, I think a lot of could haves, but I think in the end, right, I have to own up to some of the mistakes that I've made, right, and basically not bringing in Shaw a little earlier for Reece James, right, is one of the things that I probably regret a little bit now, but we will correct that mistake moving forward as well. And I think in FPL, that's sometimes what we have to do. So just to touch on some of the scores that my players got, Kepa got 3 points, so very disappointing that he didn't manage to keep a clean sheet in either of his double game week 19 games, especially since we bought him in for this game week 19 double 2, right? So 3 points, quite disappointing. In defense, there's Trippier, Ben White, and Cancelo, right? Trippier and Ben White, I'm pretty happy that they both returned. As for Cancelo, he's been in and out of the squad, so that's a little bit of a concern there, which we will have to address as well. In midfield, there's Salah, Martinelli, Rashford, and Mount. Salah and Martinelli both blanked. Right, Rashford came away with a goal against Bournemouth. He's been on fire recently, so I'm glad that he's already in my team. Right, and he is, in somewhat of a hot streak right now. So if he keeps this up, he is a shout for actually triple captaincy, which I will go into later on in the video, right, where he could have a double in game week 22, where we can consider triple captaining him, right, but we'll talk about it later on. As for Mason Mount, 4 points. He didn't play the first game against City because of an injury, but he came back for the Fulham game, got an assist, so I think I can't ask for much more, right. As for Mitrovic, brought him in to captain him. He played the first game against Leicester, got a goal, and then he got that yellow card, right. It seems ages ago now, but it was just actually a week back, right, and he got the yellow card, missed the next game against Chelsea, so just 10 points for him, and in the end, this decision did pay off, right, because Haaland blanked, right. If I didn't bring Mitrovic in to captain him, then I probably would captain Haaland, so thankfully I did, right, and I will have to address Mitrovic later on as well, right. And then there is Darwin Núñez with 1 point. He is currently rumoured to be out of the squad for Brighton, right. There is a little bit of a rumour going around whether he's going to be fit or not. He wasn't spotted in training, etc. So he is another player that I will have to maybe transfer out as well. Right, so on the bench, nothing much to talk about there. I'm pretty happy that I left Almiron there because they did keep that 0-0 draw against Arsenal. Right, so Almiron didn't get any returns there. So benching decisions wise, I think it was okay. Right, but in terms of the scores that my players got, I think we could have got a bit more. But at the end of the day, we're going to move forward, we're going to keep strong, and we're going to make some changes. So let's take a look at my Game Week 20 team. So for Game Week 20, as you guys can see on the left of the screen, 3 transfers made. So the exact 3 transfers that I've already made, I've locked it in, I've confirmed it already. And I've taken out Cancelo, and I've taken out Darwin Núñez, and I've also taken out Mason Mount in midfield, and I've replaced all of them, right, with the respective players that you see on the screen now: Luke Shaw, Odegaard, and Harry Kane. So I'll go into a little bit of the team structure. So we're going to set up with a 3-5-2 here, right? And currently I have Mitrovic on the bench, but I don't really know who I would bench instead of Mitrovic, because if you take a look at my midfield, right, there's Salah, Martinelli, Rashford, Almiron, and Odegaard, all with decent fixtures, right? And I honestly don't think that Arsenal playing Tottenham away is a difficult game, right? Because Tottenham have conceded so many chances recently, they don't look strong in defense. So that's for the midfielders. As for the strikers, right, Haaland and Kane, I don't see any way that I can bench either of them, especially since both of them have a double. Right, so I think Mitrovic on the bench is probably, I guess, the right thing to do at this point. Right, I will decide later on the deadline stream, right? But it's probably going to be Mitrovic that's staying on the bench, right? So as for the defenders, Trippier, Ben White, Shaw, I think it's pretty straightforward. I only have Bueno and Patterson as my other defenders, and I'm definitely not going to start either of them, right? So both of them are on the bench. As for the keeper decision, I've decided to start Kepa ahead of Ward, right? Even though when I was planning my game week 17 unlimited transfers draft, I actually did think that this was a game week that I would start Ward ahead of Kepa. But I actually think that Leicester recently have looked quite poor again, right, defensively. Before the World Cup, they did go on a decent run of clean sheets, but now they just look really poor again, right? So I think benching Ward and starting Kepa, who isn't ideal, right? Chelsea also don't look strong in defense, right? But Kepa at home against Crystal Palace, Chelsea actually do have a decent chance of keeping a clean sheet according to the bookies as well. So Kepa is probably going to be the one for me, right? And then this will be the structure of the team, and the only thing that I'm considering right now, right, is whether to triple captain Haaland, right? So there are a couple of positives and negatives when it comes to triple captaining Haaland, right? So we'll get into them now, and basically, at this point, if we triple captain Haaland, there are a couple of good reasons why. He's going to get minutes in both, right? He's likely going to play a large chunk of both games because Manchester United away and Tottenham at home aren't the easiest games, so I'm sure Pep will start him. That's one thing. So minutes are good for him. Secondly, right, later on in the season, right, there will be times when there's Champions League that's going to come in the way. There will be injuries for other players that may not make Man City able to field a squad that is strong, as strong as they have right now, because Kevin De Bruyne and all the other first team players are fit right now. It's just that they are not performing at the level that we expect them to, right? But even so, they all are fit, right? So they can field their first 11, right? So I do think that there are goals in store for Haaland this double game week still. So given that that's the case, those are good reasons to captain Haaland. On top of that, triple captaining him this week also allows us to then use other chips in later game weeks. So as I mentioned in the preview stream yesterday, right, there are a couple of potential double game weeks moving forward, game week 29, 34, and 37. So for game week 29, most of my chip strategies at this point in time, right, provisional chip strategies of course, not locked in yet, most of them involve playing a chip in either game week 29 or game week 34. And then I don't think I would use a triple captain in game week 37 because that's probably already too late. The title could have been wrapped up already, we don't know. So at this point, it seems as if for me there's only three main windows. Haaland against Manchester United away and Tottenham at home. There's also Marcus Rashford, game week 22, where they play Crystal Palace at home and Leeds at home, but that double is not confirmed. And then there is one more in game week 23 for Haaland, right, where he plays Aston Villa and Arsenal. Right, so on the balance of things, right, the Rashford one isn't confirmed yet, right? So taking that out of the equation, that only leaves game week 20 and game week 23 for Haaland. So if I were to captain him in either one of these game weeks, I actually prefer this one. So there is a strong consideration for triple captaining Haaland this week, and I think I may end up doing it. I haven't confirmed it yet. I will do it on the deadline stream later on, right? I'm just releasing this video a couple of hours before the deadline stream actually. So if you guys are interested, you can drop on over there. But at this point, I'm still going to leave the captain on him first, right? I haven't locked in the triple captain for various reasons. I still think that there could be other windows to use it, right? And of course, taking a chance that this week, I'm sure a lot of people will be triple captaining him, right? So captaining him, I would actually want him to blank, right? So we'll see how that goes. And on the balance, I think this squad is pretty alright. The only thing I would say is that I feel like I'm lacking Kevin De Bruyne, right? I've already taken a -4, and I still feel like I'm missing a Man City attacker. But this -8 that I've taken, right? I've managed to get Harry Kane, who I want long term, Odegaard, who's also a player I want long term, and Luke Shaw, who is also a player that I want long term. So with all these changes in mind, right, is this -8 will probably pay off in the long run, and that's why I've taken this hit. Right, I don't think I would do one more hit to transfer Salah out and bring Kevin De Bruyne in, because that would make it a -12, and on top of that, I don't think that Kevin De Bruyne would, I think there's a good chance he will return, right? But against Manchester United away and Tottenham at home, I don't expect a lot of goals, and he mainly gets assists, right? So I'm hoping that he stays quiet. I will be afraid when Man City plays their double game week games, but it is what it is, and I have Salah against Brighton at home, who are playing a very open game right now, so there could be chances for Salah in at the back. And at the same time, Darwin Núñez, if he's out, would mean that Salah will get a more central role. So let's see what happens. Right, but for now, this is it. This is how I'm setting up. Let me know what you guys think, especially who I should bench, because Mitrovic is the first option on my bench right now. Let me know if you have benched someone else, right? And let me know the changes you guys have made, right? How many double game week players you have. I currently have 4 right now. I think it's okay, right? Anywhere, ideally I would have 5, but anywhere from 4 to 5, I think it's okay. Right, so there we go. This is the GW20 team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. And I'll catch you guys later on in the deadline stream very soon. Right, bye-bye.